Alright, now we've released all of the bolts. Now what I do is I put a plastic over the CV so that we protect it from any dust going into the CV joint, into the grease and so on. Oh, this one isn't 100% loose yet, so we'll leave it like this. There's one that's not loose. Missed the one. There we go. Alright. Alright, for now we'll just leave it there because there's no space for this to get in. But as soon as we can, as soon as there's enough space here, we'll put the plastic over there to protect the grease. Alright, the next step is to take the wheel off. The next safety feature, because we're taking the wheel off and we want to work under the vehicle, we need to put an additional safety trestle underneath the vehicle. Make sure you keep all of your nuts together. All your spares must be kept together so that you don't lose anything or miss anything when you're placing them. And that includes this little, well, not a little, it's a big washer. Keep it with your main nut. Remove that one. Right, the next thing we have to take off is these two grub screws. We're going to take off those two. We're going to take off this nut on a bolt on the other side here. It's holding this brake line in place. And then at the bottom here, in the front, we're going to take that nut off at the bottom there, off of our stabilizer arm, because we need our this whole assembly to be able to fall down as far as possible. Stabilizer arm uses a number 17 spanner. Keep all of the spares together once again. There's a rubber here as well. Keep them all together. Okay, so now we've removed these two grub screws, so this can raise up. We've removed this nut, so this pipe is loose. And we've removed the nut underneath the stabilizer arm, so this whole section can move forward. Now as I moved it forward, that inner CV pulled away, so now we can put our plastic bag over it. Okay, now it goes in easily. Make sure that you don't lose any of the spares, your little nut, your grub screws, the little the spacer that's also in there. Pull it around and we'll just give it a little bit of a notch here so that it doesn't come loose. I'll say, so that's protected. Now we're back on the hub. We now have to push this section of the outer CV out. And the best way to do it is put your little nut back on there and get a rubber mallet or a block of wood, and then you hit it off. So I'm just going to hit it here. Remember, you put your nut on so that it's just flush with the outside there, so we don't accidentally damage any of the threads. Now if you're in the bush and you haven't got a rubber mallet, then you take a piece of wood, you put it like that, and you hit it with a hammer, and that'll work as well. Alright, now it's moved out, it's been dislodged, dislocated, and everything should slide out nicely. I've got a problem here because this pipe is preventing me from pulling it down far enough, so I'm going to either remove my caliper or I have to remove the spring here. And I think that the caliper is the right one to move. We need to remove 2 bolts here. It's a size 22 spanner. Once again, they should be pretty tight. Loosen them first. If it doesn't want to move, use a lever or a shock. Let's say. Okay, to take off the steering arm, we need to take this nut off here. So first of all, we take out this split pin. We loosen the nut, 19 socket. Once again, put it so that it's flush. Then what we need to do is give it a shock. So we put a 4 or 5 pound hammer on this side, and we hit it with the normal hammer on this side. And if you hit it hard enough, the shock will allow it to come loose. Now mine is loose because I've recently been working on it, but if it hasn't been worked on, you're probably going to have quite a hard time pulling this out. Right. Okay, now our stabilizer arm is still in the way. It hasn't pulled out completely, so we're going to have to go onto the other side and release it there so that it can lift out on both sides. Okay, I've released the nut on the other side of the stabilizer arm so it can lift out nice and easy. Now we just got to position it so that this comes out nicely. Now if you do it right, it'll just come out, it'll just miss the protection seal, and be careful that you don't damage it. There, it comes out nicely. Now you can see why I had to change this. Our boot has got damaged, and before we get dirt and grime in there which will damage the CV, we have to replace this boot.